In this video, we dive into the recent upheaval surrounding tariffs and their significant implications for Trump's economic agenda. A federal court ruling has brought sweeping tariffs to a halt, leaving a crucial element of his policy framework in jeopardy. We will explore the fallout from this unexpected decision, including potential impacts on international trade negotiations, fiscal challenges, and market reactions. Join us as we unpack the chaotic landscape of U.S. tariffs and what it means for the future of the economy. 1. Federal court blocks sweeping tariffs. On May 28, 2025, the U.S. Court of International Trade ruled that President Donald Trump exceeded his authority by imposing broad tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA. The court determined that the IEEPA does not permit the president to unilaterally impose sweeping tariffs without a clear justification of an unusual and extraordinary threat, rejecting Trump's claim that the U.S. trade deficit qualifies as such. This decision invalidated key components of Trump's tariff strategy, including the 10% universal tariffs and the Liberation Day tariffs aimed at various countries. 2. Economic agenda loses a pillar. Trump's economic plan has been likened to a three-legged stool, supported by tariffs, tax cuts, and spending reductions. With the court's decision undermining the tariff component, the stability of the entire agenda is in question. Tariff revenues were projected to generate approximately $2.2 trillion over the next decade, funds intended to offset the costs of proposed tax cuts and manage the national deficit. The loss of this revenue stream complicates efforts to finance the administration's fiscal policies. 3. International trade negotiations in jeopardy. The court's ruling has also impacted ongoing trade negotiations. Countries like the United Kingdom and South Korea, which were in talks to secure exemptions or favorable terms, now face uncertainty. The UK, for instance, had recently finalized a deal to reduce tariffs on steel and aluminum, but the new legal landscape has cast doubt on its implementation. South Korea's exports to the US have already declined due to existing tariffs, and the court's decision adds another layer of complexity to their trade relations. 4. Fiscal implications and budgetary challenges. The anticipated tariff revenues were a cornerstone of Trump's plan to fund significant tax cuts and manage the national debt. With the court's decision, the administration faces a shortfall that could amount to trillions over the next decade. This gap raises concerns about the feasibility of proposed tax reductions and the potential need for deeper spending cuts. Economists warn that without the expected tariff income, the national deficit could expand substantially, exacerbating fiscal pressures. 5. Exploring alternative tariff strategies. In response to the legal setback, the Trump administration is considering other avenues to implement tariffs. One option is invoking Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act, which allows tariffs for national security reasons and has been used previously to impose duties on steel and aluminum. Another is Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974, permitting tariffs in response to unfair trade practices. However, these alternatives require thorough investigations and are subject to legal and procedural constraints. 6. Market reactions and economic uncertainty. The court's decision has introduced volatility into financial markets. While some sectors may benefit from reduced tariffs, the overall uncertainty has led to cautious investor behavior. Businesses reliant on international trade are reassessing their strategies in light of potential changes in tariff policies. The administration's appeal and the possibility of alternative tariff implementations contribute to an unpredictable economic environment.